Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay, this is African Technology Development. As I say, APADEC, African Technology Development Elevation, Technocrate Impact, Elevating Africa from Conjunction to Production. It's very important for us to elevate Africa from conjunction to production. Okay, and this is the time. So we're always coming here by this time on this platform to see how we can discuss how we can elevate Africa from conjunction to production because it's very, very important. It's a crucial issue. So before we proceed, I think that's a wonderful topic to discuss this at this moment. So before we proceed, we get to know each other. So I can know is that.
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Good
My,
evening.
my name is Mr. Jibong David
Okay.
Namshap. I'm a tutor, and by extension, I'm a minister in the ministry of God.
Wonderful. Okay, let's see, sister.
Okay, my name is Blessing Ikembe. I'm a acquisition associate. I work for a car financing company.
Thank you. You're welcome. I'm Justice by name. I'm one of the co-director of this wonderful program. Okay, so you're highly welcome. I would love to see you once again, and always again. Okay, thank you for partnership with us tonight. So we have a wonderful topic to discuss about how to elevate Africa from consumption to production. So we really want to see how technology really affects our society. I mean, society of Africa. How technology really affects our society of Africa. So we get to hear from Mr. Chubon to tell us how technology, state of technology in Africa today. Your concern.
Okay, thank you for this privilege. I think Africa, we are beginning to rise from consumption to production via technology.
Okay.
But the truth is, if you look at it critically, we discover that our government has become one of the basic detriments to technology in Africa. Now, by so doing, it has affected the landscape. It has affected the thinking capacity of the youth and the whole generality of, the populace of Africa, thereby limiting our capacity to now to transcend to that level of technology.
Okay.
That's what is really happening now. So if I also proceed further, that's why you see today we now basically consume what is done outside and imported here. We don't have that courage, we don't have that mindset, and we don't have that belief that we can do and even surpass what is happening. Because if you look at it critically now, you discover that, for example, mobile penetration in Africa is about 43%. It has taken over in 2023. I was watching through data and I saw that mobile penetration about 43% to Africa in 2023, just here. So that you can say that's a very large percentage. If there's anything we can do to bring it to the barest minimum, is for us to uphold technology and make it very viable, then Africa will be a top notch.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. You have several things. I think I'll come back to you. Let's come back to our sister now. We, thank God that this period now, or the limited generation of science and technology taking over the world. Okay, so we will want to hear from you, and people also diaspora, foreign countries, they want to know the state of technology in Africa. Is Africa really doing well technology development? Are we mashing up?
Well, technologically, I'll say that we are growing. But the problem we have in Nigeria or Africa as a whole is our government. They are really like, according to they are a stumbling block. Because one thing we need in Africa is investment in this technology. We need investment. But before someone can invest, they need to know that yes, this thing is going to be profitable.
Okay.
You cannot just go to meet a man that please invest in this, even if he has the money to invest in this. The policies there are no policies that have been put in place that if I invest in this thing, it's going to give me profit and nobody is going to come back in later or at the back to take it from me, because when innocent was building his factory and he wanted to build his factory or wanted to build cars in Nigeria, he had a lot of stumbling blocks, a lot of things. They even seized his goods at the port. Plenty people were, government officials were trying to like take it from under him. If not for Peter Obi at that time or some other officials that had to like say this thing is going to be profitable for us if Nigeria has this kind of thing before they push it through. That's one aspect. And another thing is that if for technology to grow, like need to like sensitize the youth, they need to know that if they go in this way, it's going to also be profitable. It's still about profit. Yes, they have to know that yes, this thing is going to make them grow in a certain way, and they're going to make a lot of profit from this because everything in Nigeria right now is money.
Money.
They have to know that yes, if this thing grows, it's going to give us profit, and we are going to grow out of this level that we are in.
Okay.
So just now how to make it look profitable for them.
Thank you so much, sir. And our studies bring out something on a very vital, very important insight. We talk about barrier. I think I want to throw more line about barrier. Like in terms of technology development, she tried to come up with an initiative to build car in the country, Nigeria, and some people were like a barrier towards it. So do you think that where the barrier coming from the angle of tribalism or religion, or what do you think is bringing out that barrier coming from?
Okay, thank you once again. I think it cut across every sector. I'll take it from two angles, two perspectives from what you just said. One, there are regulatory orders.
Okay.
That's one of the things that brings about those limitations. So those bureaucracies, as a result of maybe some sentiments that we wouldn't know. So this one now can be posed to the government. Let them tell us why. Because if you look at what is happening now, why are they making this thing becoming a problem? Because one, if technology thrives, it opens up opportunity, viability. The jobs will be the youth will be so empowered in every sectors of life. Then secondly, when you come to poor funding, there's no access to funding. So some of these SMEs, small medium enterprises, before you can access them, is even an issue. So all those regulatory orders, you see, they still play a role. So you don't have, you see, me personally, in this my sector that I belong to, this educational sector, I have seen youths, very tender age, they have invented things, but nobody to sponsor them.
Serious?
Yes, it's happening. They are everywhere. In fact, I met one day. You know what he was doing? Sir, he carried that, he built, there was this kind of a sports car. That can be associated. If he goes through all of this process and even link up with Innocent, it's something that can be taken up. And our government will showcase it to the world. This boy was moving from one point in the streets of Lagos here. People were supporting him with mega source, with those minds. That can only be limited. But if the government can be able to push this idea, it can become global. Like I was discussing, if we can see what is happening now. Rwanda they are beginning to set the pace. They just did something now. Very, very interesting. I saw now this air taxi something now. You see, in partnership with China.
Okay.
Now, but before you know now, they become worthy of emulation. And these are some of the things that we need to really look into as Africans so as to enable us meet up with global best practices.
Okay, thank you, sir. You talk about a board coming up to build something unique, and people like were carrying things everywhere on the street, and people were catching money.
Yes.
You see, that is one of the reasons of this initiative.
Okay.
Because it has been discovered that many Africans, which God are blessed with human potential ability to create, to innovate.
Sorry to cut you, sir.
Okay.
If you look at things like that, do you know one thing that interests us so much?
Okay.
I discovered that, you know what you call this program? This Big Brother, they call it.
Yeah, Big Brother.
They invest over 2,000 US dollars in that thing. Now look at those things. I, for one, personally, I've sat down and looked at it. What are the youth learning from it? But here you have somebody who has come up with something that can send this nation to the world, that can create jobs. It not seem more to now, like she said, it has created jobs for people. One, there are people who diversify in parts. There are people that will assemble. Like this one Costaris is doing now. He doesn't make cars. He just bring in and they assemble.
Okay.
That's what they do here. It's not that they make cars, they assemble here. But we can do that and bring this plant here and do some of these things. So you are going to see the wider coverage that will set the tune. And you see what we are looking at now?
Yeah.
Consumption to production
Yes.
with bidding grip.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. Now let's go back to our main target. We have budget. You have something to say?
Before I have something to add.
Okay.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, you made mention something. Yeah, you say that about Rwanda, right?
Yes.
They have these airtights. Yeah, I saw it online. And sorry, I had the salmon.
Okay.
I want to say about.
Okay.
So you made mention these Rwanda airtights. Now my question there is that do you think it's what we really need in Africa now? Like even that Rwanda, do you think it's what they really need? They know that Rwanda is not that developed country. They are not up to Nigeria, they are not up to South Africa.
Yes.
They are not up to Ghana.
Yes.
See Rwanda I'm talking about.
Yes.
Now, we don't think it's what they really need. Now, that's one question. I have another question that air taxi, are they the one that produce it or China that bring it to them?
Okay. Okay. Let me answer him. One, if you say do they really need it, I will say yes. In terms of exportation, whatever you produce, sir, you can export, and that brings you revenue. That's one. If you ask another question in terms of technology, yes, they are not there, but they are already moving, which is a step in the right direction. When you talk about technological hub countries in Africa, I think number one you go to South Africa.
Yeah.
Then you are looking at Kenya before you even come to Nigeria. But people look at Nigeria as one because of our maybe GDP, the gross domestic product. We look at those things, we want to feel that maybe an our see the most populous nation or whatever, we think all of those things are not it. Yes, they are not. We are not ready to take the bull. If Rwanda is taking this thing, sir, don't you think it should be encouraged? It should be encouraged. Even if they are partnering with China, don't you think again it's going to open up this youth? They will pick interest, and you wouldn't know. Some of them will start coming up with something. Whatever you have told somebody to do, is it twin stick or what do you call that thing? Toothpick. I discovered they didn't even produce in Nigeria. I discovered it's not produced in Nigeria. They are being imported. As small as that thing is. But with this kind of a thing, people will be moved to do something. And you will not see that they will be encouraged. And at the end of the day, they now know that if I can do something like this, then that means I would have moved myself from the paradigm of being, poor to being what now? Rich. You may not be rich, but you may have what? You may have taken a quantum leap.
Okay.
But you're already moving. And that's what technology brings. It is about digital economy. And that's where every nation now is already moving into.
Okay.
Like if you look at now, coming back to the educational sector, by the grace of God now, you can see what government is doing. 2026 now, they have asked us now, we are moving to technology now. CBT. SSC now is going to be CBT. So if you are not technologically based, there's going to be deficiency.
Okay.
There's going to be serious problem. Our children, even in the rural areas, sir, if we want to talk about this, we are going to sleep here.
Okay.
Because we have to. Technology is not, we are not limiting it to the cities.
At all.
Even in the cities, we even have challenges. Then let alone those in the rural areas, is completely zero. Infrastructural decay, there is no electricity, there is no internet coverage. How can they do all of these things? So if we want to take it off from there, there's going to be issue.
Thank you, sir. Back to our sister. You talk about funding. I have an experience. I think I'm one of the creators. Last time, I think in 2016, 2014, 2015, 2016, I created after the software program.
Okay, yes.
So I come to innovate a power plant that generated electricity without fuel, without water, like nothing, just with battery. You recycle and generate power. So I was looking for funding actually. Okay, so I went to Bank of Industry
DOI.
to get some fund. I don't have time to go and walk on the street. I mean, someone that come out with just good brain and wisdom to create something, not someone to walking around. I think that person needs safety.
Yes.
So if I really go to the street to go and look for people to, it's not safe for me.
Yes.
So I walk down to Bama Industry. Lo and behold, nothing come out. Okay, so that is a very, very crucial aspect. So what do you think that our society or our government need to do concerning funding? Because you say that guy after discovering that or creating that he was walking around the street,
Yes.
which you can't see in America.
Yes.
You cannot see such person
At
in
all.
China.
Of course.
Okay, so what does it need what government to do in terms of funding, keeping some funds for such people that have creative ability, knowing that they're for development of Africa?
Okay. Well, I believe that there are things that have already been put in place for that. The government has already done that. All these SMEs, this what's it called? That one that came out one time like that. The government was giving some people funding for farming and all the rest. But the thing is that about once something about government thing is that people at the back they always want to collect their cuts.
Okay.
So it's one thing I believe is that you should go to private individuals who that you know that okay, yes, they can give you the money to fund these things. But once you are going go to them with humility kind of and curb your greed. Because most of those people when they want to give you when they want to fund those your ideas, they will come with some kind of impossible to you to be like impossible person. You want maybe they want to get like 40% of the profit if there is and all the rest. But you'll be like, ah no, that you have brought out the idea and all the rest. But you have to think that no, that if if this thing works out, you shouldn't be greedy because they are going to bear the cost too. They are going to bear the if it doesn't work out, they are going to lose their money. So you have to think that okay, if this thing doesn't work out, they're going to lose their money, and there's no way you're going to be able to repay them. But that money has already gone, and you still might still need to go back to them for more funding, if so that you can try out another idea. So you need to know that okay, yes, if this thing works out, it's a 50-50 thing. I win, they win. If it doesn't work out, they have lost their money. You've not really lost anything because it wasn't your money in the first place that you used to it. So you need to go to those individuals that you know that yes, this person is technologically inclined. He will be or she will be able to give me this amount of money, the amount of funding that I need. And maybe he might not be able to give you money, but he might be able to provide a place for you to carry out your research and all the rest. So you don't need to like be greedy or um try to keep the most of the distance to yourself. If you can even meet like 10 individuals separately that provide something for me in this, and I'll give you so amount, so percentage of the business. Provide this, I'll give you so percentage. Just mix. It doesn't have to be one person or government. Meet different individuals. Let's come together. This is the idea. This is what I'm bringing out. This is what I need. This is particular amount that is needed. These are the materials that are needed. If you can provide any of these things, this is the percentage that can be given. If it works out, this is the percentage. This is it. That just need everybody to come together and discuss it and don't be greedy. That's just it. Just share it. Share the loss. Share the profits.
Okay, thank you so much. Sorry, back to you, sir. This we're talking about the state of technology development in Africa. Now, I mean today, these people called the creative ones, those innovators, inventors, what do you think they need now for them to be able to exhibit or demonstrate that potential ability that God gave to them to become a light to the society? What do you think they need? They don't think they need safety, they need care, they need proper monitoring, they need business ideology, do you think they need guide? What do you think they need?
Of course, they need a lot, but let's streamline it. I think one, the society must first appreciate them.
Okay.
Once you appreciate them, then of course they will now be so motivated to do. That's one. Then our government put in